Hey y'all, it's Jay, and um, as many of you know, I've been having some health issues. I haven't been playing much pool. In the last 3 months, I might have played about 20 racks of pool. That's about it. It's been a while since my last video, and right now I've got to get back in stroke. So, just wanted to kind of touch base with you. The last time we talked, I had just redone my table. Mark Gregory from Perfect Pockets resized all my pockets to 4 1/8 inch. It's got brand new Artemis intracontinental rails on it, and I'm using Andy Premier cloth, which is pretty fast. It's just at the point where it stops sliding, so it's still very, very fast. I will tell you, this is a tough table. So Sunday, last week, not Easter Sunday, but the Sunday prior, Rodney Morris came over to chat with me about some stuff. And of course, we played while he was here. And we ended up playing for like 3 hours. I'm not going to show you that entire match. It was kind of embarrassing for me. I missed some shots I shouldn't have missed. I've added one into my practice book. And really what it turned out to be is that because the table's so fast, I had to shoot slower than I would normally shoot because I kept overrunning leaves. And so shooting slower with all the spin that I use, I was throwing the ball, actually throwing it away from the pocket. I was shooting it where on the table before I changed it, it would have gone in. On this, because I was shooting slower, more spin, a lot of spin, more throw, missing pockets. It was horrible. But I did think I'd like to share some highlights with you of the match. I'm gonna go through it. And then on Monday night, I had some time and I played some, just played some racks. I didn't practice. Just trying to get the feel for things. I'm going to share with you some highlights of my practice that day too. I will tell you, Rodney and I, the two of us, we ended up playing a lot of safeties. There was a lot of safety play in our game. The vast majority of these highlights are just some of the great safes that we played. So if you want to learn about safety play, especially against somebody who is capable of getting out if they make a ball, watch these. I'm going to talk through them. I'm going to talk through the thought process and let you know what we were thinking and what we were doing. And I hope you enjoy it. This is the first time in at least 2 months that I even picked up a cue, so don't expect a whole lot. With that said, I am going to start playing some more. I'm going to try to do some real structured practices. I'll try to share those with you so that you can see the structured practice and see what happens to the game by using those structured practices. Now, as I said, I don't do drills. Talked to Rodney about it. Rodney doesn't like drills either. And the problem is that every shot's different. You move. If you have, let's say you're shooting a drill where you've got to shoot this, that is a completely different shot than that is, which is a completely different shot from that. You move the ball just a few inches, move that a couple inches out, it's a different shot. So repeating the same shot over and over and over again is great while you're getting down your aim, while you're learning to pocket balls. Once you've got your aim pretty much down, I think, and it's fine to disagree with me on this, I think drills are pretty useless once you get past that point where you're pocketing balls consistently. And the reason is, so you go to the pool hall one day, you spend the day shooting drills, the next day you're playing a little local tournament or you're playing a tournament. Every shot you see you're going to see that drill. And you're going to try to shoot it even when it's not the right shot, just because that's what you were drilling. So for me, I like to shoot and take shots that I miss during a rack and fix the problems with that shot. We've talked about that. There's a whole video on how to do structured practice my way. Feel free to hit me up. Feel free to comment if you disagree. It's fine. We all have our own ways of doing things. This is my way. You may have a different way. I will tell you though, neither Rodney nor I ran a rack, broken ran. The closest to that was one rack. I broke dry, and Rodney ran the rack ran the 9 balls. That is the only big run. I'm actually not sharing it in the highlights because it was. I probably should share it in the highlights, but I'd have to go find it again. We were taking video. There is no audio. I turned that off because I had copyrighted music playing while we were playing, so can't help you with hearing the banter going back and forth. But we were talking to each other and we were discussing shots in between. And hey, why didn't you do this? And you know, he had questions for me too, where I hopefully was able to help him out a little bit. So with that, let's get on into the highlights. So these first couple of clips are just to show you how tough this table is. This is Rodney shooting at the 4 ball. And yeah, it doesn't go in. Here, 4 ball again. Nope. So you can see this is really a tight table. And so you're going to see a lot of safety play here. Here Rodney's going to play a really great safety. Kicking back behind the 5 and the 8. Leaving the 4 down table. And here, I'm pretty sure that this one is a safety battle. Oh, yeah. So I went off the side of the rack. That was horrible. I got behind the 9, but the 1 just kept rolling and finally stopped where he could see it. He really doesn't have a shot to make it anywhere. So he plays safe and ducks me back all the way on the other end of the table behind the 3. So I've got to come up with a shot to get a hit here. 2 rail is taken away by the 8 ball. There's no 1 rail kick because of the 6-2. This is a tough one. If I try to come off the long rail, I'm going to end up with less than half a ball to hit. So I decided to go off the end rail with English to come backwards and try to just run this 1 into the 6 and leave the cue on the other end of the table. Hopefully I end up behind the 2. Yeah, I'm looking at 2 rails. I'm looking at all kinds of different ways to get to this. It's just really not a good way to get to this, so I'm going to have to play safe out of here. Maybe if I can run the 1 into the 6, it'll tie up with the 4. Who knows? This is just a mess. All started because I missed the 1 ball on the break. I mean, I hit the 1 ball, but I hit the side of it and didn't hit it square. So I did manage to get around. I got the 2. I got the 1. And got really lucky here. He's got the bottom of the 1 ball, I think. I think he can hit the bottom of the 1. Maybe not. No, he's 2 rail kick. And this isn't the prettiest either. The 2 ball's taking away the corner pocket. It's too sharp a cut to play for the side. So I'm going to have to play safe again.
So I roll him behind the 4. That's a pretty strong safety with all the traffic down there. So he's thinking 3 rails, come behind it, and he just missed it. And it's really interesting because that one ball, even though I've got a shot on the 1, I don't have a shot on the 1 to get back on the 2. So I decide I'm going to get the 1 out of there and just freeze him to this 2 ball. And that'll do just fine. I mean, he can hit it. He can hit 1 rail off the bottom rail and hit it. He can go 2 rails around and hit it. He's looking at going 2. Gets a good solid hit. Leaves me with this little tiny piece of the 1. That was a really good hit by him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off the side of the 1, and I'm going to play back down towards the edge where the 9 is. Not trying to make this, just trying to thin it and get around and get behind this wall of balls. I actually think that he could have gotten through there, through the 4-3, but he didn't think so. He tried to swerve it, he missed, and he who loses the safety battle typically loses the game. So I'm just going to run the cue ball up the long rail towards the 2. Nice easy hit. This table is so easy to overrun, and if you try to hold back. So on this shot, Rodney's left me behind the 7. I can't see the 1, and I decide to just shoot at the 1. I'm going to try to kick it cross corner and leave myself a shot on the 2. A little bit too much English. I make the shot, but I get nothing. So here's Rodney. He's behind the 9 ball. He makes a great hit there to get the 3 out, and leaves me with this really weird angle. I have to cheat the pocket on this 3 ball because first of all, I have to draw it because it's dead straight in, and we're just talking about the 3 ball there. The problem with this is that I'm dead straight in. So what I have to do is I have to put this in the left side of a 4 1/8 inch pocket. This is not easy, and I have to put a ton of draw on it to get it over to the side rail, and hopefully not go too far, because if I go too far, the 5 ball will be in the way. So I hit that really good. I could have used a little bit more bounce off the rail, but I'm quite happy to be there. I've got a shot on the 4, and I can put it down. Just nice easy roll, leave the 5 in the side. Now I had to hit that hard because I knew I was going to run into the 10 no matter what I did. But the good news is now I can just roll forward, straight down, keep an angle on the 8 to get back up the table for the 9. On the rail, I don't really like this a whole lot, but I'm just going to put some top left on it, I think. Come straight down the table. Yeah. Straight down the table. Leave myself a straight in shot on the 9. Just roll it forward and out for the 10 in the side. I would have liked to have hit that another, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches, but this will do just fine. One of my few wins against Rodney on Sunday. Alright, so here, you really can't see it, but the the way it was sitting, I didn't like that 3 ball. So I figured, what the heck, I'll put Rodney behind it. And this is actually pretty good because you got the one railer, the straight one railer is blocked by the 6. The 5 gets rid of the 2 rail shot. 3's blocking the long rail kick. Can't go to the right. And Rodney tries to twist it around. It just doesn't get there. This is a great shot by Rodney. This one had to be in here. This is definitely a highlight. What a shot. Great job. And he does get out from here. This is a good thing to see. Notice how he uses the side rail. He doesn't just come straight up. He uses the side rail to get his angle on the 6. All right, so what do we got here? Oh, this is a safety battle. Oh my gosh, I remember this rack. The 4 is located. So he's going to try to play the 1 and then to come off the 2 and run the 5 into the 4. I had to get rid of the audio because of copyright, but he's trying to hit the 5 into the 4. And he does it, but he just ends up behind this 10 ball. So now he's going to play a kick and stick behind it and just try to leave the cue ball right down there, maybe a little closer to the 5-8. He gets the hit, but the 4 leaks out. Now he's still safe because I can only see the left side of this 4, so I can't bank it cross side. I can't do a 2 rail bank. So I'm going to play it down by the end rail and put the cue down behind the 10. Long shot behind the 10. And Rodney's joking here about how it's the same shot he just shot, and it is. But he's got to make sure he doesn't mess up the 5, because if he does sell out, he doesn't want me to have that 5 ball as an easy shot. Now, a lot of you players out there will play this shot, make the 4, and try to do something. You don't even do that. Just get off the side of the 4, come around the table and behind the 5-8. Don't even try to make it. Just leave it down there in that half of the table and bring the cue down here behind all the traffic. That's all you got to do. Now, we're not playing with jump cues, so he's got to kick at this. And of course, he's Rodney, so he hits it. That's just unlucky. I would have been in so much trouble had he made that cue in the side. I still have no shot on this 5. I mean, we're several innings in, and there's still no shot on this 5. I'm going to try to draw up the table into it, but it's just not going to happen. See, I'm not. If I get a huge draw on that, maybe I bump the 8, but I was pretty straight in. So now I'm gonna bank the 5 out of there and leave the cue down near the end rail. At least that's the intent. Came out really good. Got behind the 8. He doesn't have a shot. Again, no jump cues. So he's going to play this, and this is just phenomenal. This is a 3 rail hit on this 5 out in the center of the table. What a beautiful shot. He got unlucky. It comes up. I've got a shot. Just for the record, I dogged that 5 ball. I did not make it. Trying to draw back to the 6 was just a little bit too much. Okay, so here we've got a mess again. I could try to bank the 2 across side, but that's a bad shot. So I'm just going to roll the cue behind all of this traffic and send the 2 out there. And hit it just about perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Again, no jump cues, so he's going to have to kick at it. Not a hard kick, but he's got to do it and not leave me anything. Doesn't work out. He leaves me a shot. I make the 2 and go on to, I didn't get out, but I did get to the next set of safeties. All right, here's another one. I make a couple balls on the break, or I make a ball on the break. I can see the one, but what do? You don't bank this down because the 6 is in the way. So I'm telling Rodney, I want to tell you what I'm going to do before I do it because you're not going to believe it if I pull it off. And Rodney's looking at coming thin off the 1, hitting the 10, hitting the 3 into the 10 off the 8 in the corner. But I look at that, and you can't see it because it's behind me, but there it is. It looks pretty close, but if I miss it, I'm dead. I just lose. So I'm going to play safe instead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come thin off the 1, and I'm going to come behind, and I'm going to try to hit the 8 and leave the cue behind the 10 ball. Nice thin hit. Couple rails. Hit the 8. So here's another one. There's really just nothing I can do with this one. So here's your lockdown safety. That's just a gimme of a safety. Unfortunately, the 1-2 locked up like it did. This is just brutal. He's got to get between the 3, the 9, and the 10. He's got to go in that little tiny window in between the 3 of those. And he's got to hit it perfect. I mean, he's got like a piece of the 1 even at that. So he decides he's going to go and try to reverse the rail. So he's going to hit the rail, reverse back, and try to hit the 1, and he doesn't get it. So there's just we were kind of laughing about how he almost hit the rail a couple times. So this was an interesting one. Bam, 5 rails, make the 12 in the corner, got a shot on the 8. That was not 9 ball, by the way. This was more us talking about some interesting shots, and we were sharing a few things that we knew about. Here's another one of those. This one I'm going to hit it, go around the 8, break up the 2 that was blocking the 12, and then shoot the 8 in the corner. All right, this is the next day, and this was a really cool rack. Starts off with that backwards cut, or the backwards bank on the 1. Now I've got to go down the rail and get back on the 3. Brush the 4. Didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. This is weird. You think about taking it in the side, you think about taking it in the corner. The side's just right there, so you're going to take the side on that. But because of the speed of the table, I underhit this a little. I was afraid I was going to overrun it and end up down behind the 9-7, which I've been doing all day. Now this is practice. This is the day after I played Rodney. Now I'm going to cut the 4 backwards and try to leave the 5 up table. I just underhit a ball. Now I'm going to overhit one. Oh no, whatever shall I do? So this is a straight bank cross side, and I'm going to draw for the 6. This is a tough shot on this table. If it touches that side rail, it's going to bounce out too far. If it even touches the side rails, it bounces way out. Just a little stop shot, or I had a little angle, so a little stun shot off the rail, and roll up for the 8, then the 9. And that wraps that one up. So here's a couple of highlight shots for you. I could cut the 1 in barely, but I get no leave, so I end up kicking it in. Long shot on the 2. And I hook myself on the 4. But hey, there's a side pocket over there. I look at the angle. 4 in the side. Long shot on the 5, but I had to hit that pretty firm to make that 4. I missed the 5, by the way. So I make one on the break. I've really got nothing. I could try to cut the 1 in the side, but I'd have to let the cue ball go, and my odds of getting in between the 2 and the 6 for a good shot on the 2 is pretty slim. So I decided to play this really long combination. I get unlucky and bounce off the 2. This would be a tough shot if the 2 wasn't there, but the 2's there, so what do? Well, it's me, so I'm just going to hop this 2. And yes, that's a full cue. And I make the great shot, but no reward. I end up behind the 5. Alright, so I always like to end on a positive note. Here is my one and only practice run of that day. I pocket the wing ball. 2 ball goes cross side. Not a tough run on a normal table, but I'll tell you what. Rodney and I played for 3 hours. There was not a single break and run by either of us in those 3 hours. At one point, Rodney was joking that you're lucky to get 4 balls on this table. I'll tell you what, Mark Gregory with Perfect Pockets did a hell of a job on this table. Bad luck, straight in on this 3. I'm going to have to power draw this. I pulled up on that stroke a little bit, but got away with it. So a lot of people will play this backwards, meaning that they'll draw off the 4 and come 2 rails up. That's probably the right way to play it, but I like this shot. So I will play that if it's there. I play that shot all the time. All right. Fairly straightforward now. Off the 5, out for the 7 in the side. Roll behind the 7 to leave myself the 8. And just a little stun to get off the rail. And 9 in the corner to wrap us up. Have a great day. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and ding the notification bell.